Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Canadian MVP Show. I have been joined with one of the best folks in industry, my great friend Rahat, who is AI champion and who is Microsoft AI MVP. I'm joined with Nick, who is known for his data skill sets and MVP alumni and who is in the industry from years, Stone Ages. Overall, Nick has, experience from while, I would say. And yeah, so we are here and we are gonna to talk about a couple of things which have been asked by various folks. Nowadays, as per industry trend, everyone want to talk about Gen AI, Synapse Fabrics, and Databricks. And specifically, if we talk about Synapse Fabrics and Databricks, that is something everyone want to know about. So we took this question. So you will find Rahat. Rahat, would you mind to say something about you?
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. My name is Rahat, and it's been 9 years I'm a Microsoft MVP. Outside of that, I work at IATA, International Air Transport Association, as their head of data quality and analytics. So all those like airline-related reports, aviation-related accident information that you see is mostly done by my team. And I'm happy to be here with Nick and Deepak.
Thank you so much. And another Nick, my champion. Would you
Yeah.
mind to say about you?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Sharia Nika. I go by the name Nick. I'm a data guy, been around for a long time, too long, maybe.
How
My
many
name,
years, Nick?
sorry?
How
Oh,
many years?
you really want to know? Okay.
Yeah.
Not a good thing to say, but I started in 1979. I'm very hands-on. I work a lot with Deepak on IoT. We wrote the questions with Microsoft Azure IoT AZ220 in December 2019. Now I'm focusing on AI technology, trying to do pre-surgery instrument detections, basically before they started surgery. We want to make sure they have all the instruments, all the everything that's required ready. So these are the things that I'm focusing on. I've done lots of credit card and lots of other stuff that I don't remember anymore, but I'm a data guy.
Amazing, amazing. So overall, if I count the experience of Nick and Rahat and me, I think we almost touch 80 years. So
No, but being
all
serious,
together.
no, that I started at the age of 9, but really serious, it was in 1989. I think it was
Okay.
Foxport 2.0. That's where I started
Wow,
working with
I was not
data.
even
Yeah,
born that time.
yeah, that was when
Look at
yeah,
you.
the dinosaurs. That was the dinosaurs era. So that's when I started. But technology changes every second. Well, it's not about when
Mhm.
I started. It's about, did you study today? That's what I
Yeah,
tell students. I say, did you study
Yeah.
today? Yes, you're updated. We don't care about the past because technology really changes every freaking second. So you better catch up.
amazing. And that is another motivation. Like Nick, after so many years of experience from 89 professional experience, like I was 9 years at that time. So certainly, you keep yourself abreast, and I know your articles, your videos, and every detail where you help banking clients specifically and have been into IoT space. So this is really incredible, and your solution on Microsoft platform is always appreciated. So that is the great stuff, and as most of my friends know, like Deepak Kaushik, I'm Microsoft Azure MVP from last 6 years, and focus heavily on cloud technology, cloud integration, migration, etc. And today our topic is on that. This question has been asked by, so we will talk about couple of things, and which is coming from industry experience. So as I mentioned, like from 80 years of almost, we bringing that experience. We are not talking about the book knowledge. We will talk about some practical implementation and why we have to uh, choose technology A versus technology B, and where industry is moving. That is the biggest question in front of every one of us. So we will talk about that, and certainly we will talk about Synapse, Fabrics, Databricks, and Gen AI. So I'm opening the floor over here. I presented on the fabrics to North America Center of Excellence last year. And that point of time, I have been asked, hey, Deepak, fabric is medallion architecture. Bingo. We have uh, bronze, silver, gold. We have also one lake. Does fabric is the replacement uh, of Databricks or for Synapse, or it has OneDrive and whatnot? All those things bundle under it. So what you think? What is your understanding over there, folks? I just want to open, and any experience recently you have gone through where you look over Synapse or Fabrics and Databricks, and I want to talk about that as well.
So I can add. So honestly, like from my side, Fabric initially looked a bit confusing. It still is. Sometimes it looks not 100% clear because Microsoft first built all those like ADF, all those like other SQL related like tools, brought like different types of notebooks, and then combine all of them together into a Synapse, where there is like Synapse pipeline. ADF is kind of like combined. The Synapse data warehouse, and also like the lake, data lake is always there, along with some streaming services and everything. But then they all of a sudden came with the Fabric. So Fabric, they started to name it. They are keeping it side by side. They are involving more business user centric tools as well, like OneDrive, Power Automation, Office 365, along with all the data processing and like Synapse features. So I get it. Like they want to like empower everyone through an enterprise ecosystem, but still from a usability or specific user perspective, still I have a lot of question that I need to learn more from the
Of
Fabric side.
yeah, and those are the fair questions. Take, if I took that stab over here, uh, last year when I did couple of demos, it looked interesting in the perspective. It everything come under, for example, ADF, for example, streaming data, for example, batch load, for example, all the storage, OneDrive analysis, with uh, everything come under Fabric. But the question always come into our mind, does this solution is mature, which Rahat also put the baseline A. Secondly, while we speak, I don't have a single client where we migrated
Using, yeah,
using Fabric because
agree.
Databricks is so promising. In my 80 to 90% project we are doing. But Nick, what is your take on this? You are a data guy who talk about
Yeah.
a
So
lot. So
yeah. So before I tell you, let's talk about a short history about um, basically the journey of Fabric. So there was a service called Azure SQL Data Warehouse. Unfortunately, everyone thought it's SQL Server. I'm like, no, this is a service name, and
yeah.
Microsoft gave it a very poor name in the beginning. But anyway, they renamed it and rebranded it and called it a Synapse. But here's the thing, that service was a one environment. It was just a data environment. When Synapse came, they came up with this word called suite. The word suite means a combination of services. Fabric is the same thing. Databricks is the same thing. And basically, they all have the same basically suite, a combination of whatever is required for that action, whatever, whether it's a ETL environment, whether it's an analytics environment or a BI environment. But this is the story, and I'll guarantee this will happen with Snowflake. In the future, Snowflake will have its own internal tools. Guess what? Databricks will have it within less than 5 years. I'll guarantee they will have their own embedded or somehow stick side by side ETL tool from that company directly. But when it comes to Fabric itself, um, it's hard to convince a client to jump into Fabric. Fabric is not a mature tool yet. When I mean mature, don't look at it as in, oh, it could do this or it could do that. No, you have to look at it from all
Yeah.
perspective. One of the things Rahul saying is a little bit confusing. I agree and I disagree. I agree because it's new. I disagree is you have to learn. It's technology. That's it. Tough luck. You're gonna be behind schedule. You're gonna be
100%
behind
agree.
technology.
But also, like,
Uh,
if you look at like
but
a
when it comes,
Snowflake, I don't know, like you have used a Snowflake. So,
yeah,
from a user, like how easy it is to use, I find Snowflake is super easier than compared to like Synapse or even like the Fabric, the concept. So
yeah, but you're
even we have a lot of,
comparing Snowflake.
yeah,
Snowflake doesn't have as much as
no, no, no,
suite
true,
components.
agree,
Yeah,
agree.
that's the thing. You're comparing, let's say, two services with 18 services or 12 services. I'm like, guys, you can't compare these
No,
together. It's not possible. But what I'm trying to say is, okay, fine. That's the direction that they're going. Microsoft's going towards Fabric. The problems or the as I said, it's not mature enough. The things that are missing is like when it comes to cost management, I cannot extract using a CLI code everything that I want. If I want an inventory of Synapse, of let's say of the table and the pipelines and all that stuff, I run a CLI code, I run some kind of code, and it will generate, spit it out. And guess what? I will put it in a simple Excel for presentation perspective. Now, if I want to do this in Fabric, good luck. I have to click on one by one
yeah,
and basically cut and paste or write them manually. So I become a typist. I can't run a code that will extract all the metadata as in all these services, all the pipeline. My point is, I'm not saying it's a bad tool. I'm saying not now. Maybe by the
And
end of this year, definitely 100%,
mhm.
no question asked.
So
Uh,
yeah, that is good way of where our train of thought is running. And uh, uh, in 2017, I migrate actually Azure SQL data warehouse. I flew to Seattle, and this video is over there uh, as well. So I look over that understanding. I think it is from last 5 years before,
yeah,
from
there you go.
SQL data warehouse to Synapse and now Fabrics. I would say, yeah, there were challenge at that point of time. Yeah, challenge was there as well, and currently as well, challenge is there. So, answer to our folks, we need to take cognizant decision. If you are not going into the production, feel free to leverage Fabrics. Certainly, it will come under one umbrella of cost optimization, reliability, scalability, operational excellence. You are not paying extra to another party. But and once you are satisfied, you could look over the load which you are handling, uh, and your production reliability and scalability Fabric can meet. Certainly you could go, but eventually it will take some time. And until unless specifically me, if I don't have some production use case, it is really difficult. But yeah, as I mentioned into
yeah,
the Databricks, I use for streaming data, I use for batch data, I use for transformation, I use it for migration of Oracle DB, Azure, Adobe AEP, and what not. Like so many things I have done. And and very recently I'm using Unity Catalog on governance side, and a live table, Delta live table as well. I don't know. From
you
my
don't, yeah,
experience,
it's way more like a
yeah.
feature porn and prawn, like it has way more like a user like specific like features I feel or because when I look at if like what new like Fabric is offering. So to me, the best feature I find is easy compute and storage management, like the compute one.
Hmm,
In the past,
exactly.
we used to have like for ADF, you have something, you have for those like Synapse related, you have something for Databricks, you have some more compute, and then for Power BI for SKU, you can also have something. Here, they're providing okay, you can have like you don't need five different compute. You can do cost management from there. You can hold like singles like set of compute as a cluster and then support all those activities. But they already have AI Azure ML Studio. That's a
Mhm.
very mature tool. But now they have Synapse Data Science under Fabric. They already have like a Synapse related like a Jupyter notebook where you can write your Spark or like Python and like
Yeah,
connect it with the data frame. But now they also like brought Synapse Data Engineering. Then they have the Synapse Data Warehouse. They're just like putting it under the Fabric, along with Synapse Real Time Analytics. but they killed one like time stream database recently. They're also like putting less effort on the ADX, Azure Data Explorer, which is a time series, time stream or time series related.
Agree.
So it's like getting killed and then renamed as something and just putting it under the fabric. So this is the confusing part to me.
Exactly. And yeah, that is what we want to share our experience around that. So, for Snowflake's perspective, Nick, would you like to share some light over there? What is do you think you could replace Synapse with Snowflakes or Synapse or Fabric, and why? Something like that, some client experience.
That's a good question. So I've worked for companies that the client came up with this question. So they said, "Hey, because of either its management or maybe the company's moving to different technology, they said, "Hey, we want to replace Synapse with Snowflake." And the answers that I saw that the client they were providing was not enough. For example, they were saying, "Oh, we're going to replace dedicated SQL pool and server SQL pool with Snowflake and we're done." I'm like, "Okay, well, guess what? Snowflake has its own internal storage. What are you going to do with that?" And they didn't
Mm-hmm.
know. And are you going to get rid of blob storage Gen 2, or are you going to use, like, what's the story? So there's lots of details they've missed. And I went down to real, for example, security is a good example. Again, as I said, Synapse is a sweet area. Basically, it has a combination. It's just like it's like a bowl of services that has their own internal security within that basically container. Let's call it container. Um, but I said, "Hey, wait a minute. If you are bringing Snowflake, Snowflake does not have its own Azure Data Factory or its
Mm-hmm.
own tool. It has
Yeah.
some internal ETL components. Yes, it does, but it doesn't have that graphical drag and drop, ETL tool like SSIS or Azure Data Factory. Or I said, what are you going to do with that? And these are the things I saw they were missing. And most important thing was the cost. You have to
Oh,
measure, and yeah, you have to measure if you're replacing Synapse with whatever
Yeah, you can
technology
combine
it is.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it
mm-hmm.
is, I'm fine. Even Snowflake, Databricks, I would come up with the questions: how much would the data environment cost? How much the ETL
Yeah.
will cost? And guess what? Snowflake is another good example. Well, you will need to use Key Vault because you're using other external services. Well, if you
Gotcha.
have Synapse only and only, not a good example, but you may not need Key Vault. I'm not, I'm saying it may not. But if you're having different servers, you must, it's mandatory. You can't just bypass it. So, and the question is, how much will it cost, and so on. So these are the things, or virtual network is another good example. Um, you have to do the math. Don't rush into it. I see clients rushing into it and say, "Hey, take this out and put this in," and they're like, "Oh my God, security is not supported." Or banks, in some banks, I'm saying
Yeah.
security is not deep enough. I'm not saying Azure. I'm not saying no, 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 no. For some tools, security is not deep enough for a organization like a bank to sign off for it. I'll
Okay.
give you one very basic example that has nothing to do with this is some banks do not accept Git because don't ask me why,
Yeah.
but they have an open port and they say, "Hey, we can't work with Git, we have to work with someone." So this is a very, very basic example. So this may occur while you replace your Synapse with three, four, five other services. So heads up, don't rush into it.
Amazing. And we got a live question, and someone is asking, "Hey, what do you suggest developer learning curve for Gen AI or Synapse to Fabrics or Snowflakes?" Rahat, would you like to take that question from Gen AI
So
perspective?
I can answer the Snowflake first because I was not using Snowflake in the past, but last 1 year I'm using Snowflake for my
Okay.
current job. One thing I have noticed after moving from Microsoft Data Warehouse housing side to Snowflake side, I agree with all the Nick's comment. The ETL is not there. We are using Talent for that purpose. We are also using Bitbucket to host all the like code bases and a
Yep.
lot of things internally, so that for certain regulation, it's safer. That's what certain regulator says. But one good thing about Snowflake, it's so easy to use. Even a non-technical person can easily run the
Oh,
queries, use the
wow.
query. Another thing is when you bring the data, Snowflake has a lot of built-in functionalities for your data quality management. Because one of the big thing is we bring data, but if the data is not of a good quality, it's garbage. So it can automatically run on a daily basis, weekly basis, data quality report, and then give you, oh, this is what happened with your data. These are the mismatches that you have. They also brought a lot of a new tool recently they introduced the serverless Python part, so you can write serverless code in Snowflake using Python or SQL combined and run it there on your small cluster as well. So the compute support for running the code and hosting the code or doing those queries is kind of like in a single place. Another really cool thing that Snowflake did and very smart, which is they already have good support to export data export to Power BI. So
Right.
if you have the data into the Snowflake as a gold version, you can easily connect it, have it like a Snowflake schema to Power BI schema, data import, and then you have the report and everything. But they also accurate Streamlit. So that is another very powerful or famous tool for data science or data analytics world. You can build a report, an interactive report on your Snowflake data in 10
Amazing.
minutes, in 10 to 15
Oh,
minutes. So you
Yeah.
have a dimension table. You don't want to export that data, or you don't want to give access to the data warehouse to a user, or you don't want to download them as a Excel or something, but you need to give them the data. You just create a very a quick Streamlit app, expose it, so they will be able to use the data in an interactive manner. So those are the good things of Snowflake, but it's a bit costly. True, it works better with AWS platform. I feel ETL is missing the security part too. So it's like a good and bad mix up.
I just
incredible.
want
And
to add something. I just want to add
mhm,
something to this Snowflake. So I've been working
mhm.
with Snowflake for almost 2 years. So long story short is that a trend that I see is people are making a mistake moving to Snowflake, and they only have 100 million record data. And I'm like, guys, even if you have a 1
Wow.
billion or 4 terabyte of data, you're talking about peanuts. This Snowflake is a
Yeah,
beast. Do
it is.
not go there. If you have under 40 terabyte, don't go there. It's a waste of money, waste of time. If the company's foundation is on Snowflake, okay, fine. But again, don't go there with peanuts. Go with there with big data, because that's one of the biggest
That's
definition
smart.
of data when it comes to, for example, data vault architecture. And these are really deep and
Yeah.
professional architecture that I haven't seen in any company, because they don't need it. But that's
No,
another thing.
true.
They don't have it and they don't need it, and they're not that big. So big data, Snowflake is a good place. I'm not saying Synapse is not, or Databricks is not. I'm saying Snowflake is a good candidate
Yeah.
for this type of data.
It's more into based on audience. If your audience is super technical, they want to do a lot of ad hoc or hands-on pipelining or that type of things, go for Synapse. This is the best. You will have way more control. Your cost will be lower. You will have all those tools in a single
Yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if you find your audience is not that technical, your IT is managing everything for them, so they don't have the time to all go on that low level, then you can always consider Snowflake. Yeah.
Wow. And I got a very good feedback over here from Kathy and Tom, and they are saying this is the best discussion at the brunch time, and so much expertise and knowledge which we are getting right now. So thank you so much, folks. And that's why we have this Canadian MVP show where we don't present uh, anything. We just share our experience, hands-on experience, which we did and acquire after getting pass, fail sometime in between on the fence. And as you look over in our discussion, we adhere to the architect framework, a well architect framework. We talk about security, we talk about cost, we talk about reliability, agilence, scalability, like what is the data you need to be considered. You could not go with the peanuts. And from security compliance perspective, Rahat mentioned what we need to do. So this is so incredible. Having said that, please keep tuned. And thank you so much, everyone, joining. Last comment from you, Nick, and then Rahat.
Um, Always update yourself. They put the man on the moon, so could you. Trust me. I'm at the age I'm still studying and I'm proud of it. And guess what? Everyone can do it. Everyone. If you're a student, definitely 2 hours a day, you'll be a superstar within 30 days. Trust me. Within 30 days, you'll be a superstar. That's my message.
Thank you. Rahat, from you.
Uh, Thank you for joining. And as I said, like, don't marry into one tool or one platform. Be open and like find out what you need. That's the most important part. And your business questions are answered by those tools or not. Maybe you need something a smaller solution. You need a bigger solution. So don't just like go something like as a default choice. Like identify your need, do your proper requirement analysis, do your cost analysis, the security part, and then choose the right platform.
I
Thank you.
just want to add something to Rahul's, which I tell my team. I'd say make sure you have as much as failure as possible.
Yeah,
The reason is it's not a failure, it's a learning curve. You think it's you failed. So make sure you have as much as failure as possible during development because it's called experience. Okay.
agree.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy your weekend. And we will see you in next our live session. Bye for now.
Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.